This is a big moment for me. Excuse me while I get a little emotional. I forgot it was in sport. Wow. Oh, what a fantastic day. My dreams have been realised. In summary, the car has no faults, it has no flaws. That's me, a Bentley, top of the range Mercedes and Ferrari owner. It's amazing, it's just so well thought out, every detail, everything's gone into making this car the best it can possibly be for the majority and mass appeal of the market. Yes, if you want something rawer, get an Exige or an Evora and a lease. If you want something that is as good a build and all-round excellence of a Porsche, but with the magic special sauce of Lotus, and also the Italians do it well, then the Emira is still the car. And it's a bargain at £100,000. It's a Bobby Dazzler bargain at 76. And let's not even mention, hopefully, Lotus sticking, which would be incredible, to that 60 grand base i4 offer when it comes out. Let's hope so. What a fabulous car. Great shout out to Rob Borrett, our head of PR. Scott Walker have put it all together, individually took all the cars out and arranged them in a line. Wow, fantastic. And to Matt Windle, MD, for final signing this off. It's been a long time. My journey, May 21 deposit. Went to Goodwood. I've been to the factory tour in January. And myself and Tom from the Lotus forums and Emira forums, we saw the quality, we saw what was happening, we saw the element of manual and the element of robotic and digital to bring it all together. And I can tell you, absolute clarity, that this car is amazing. It's beautifully built and it ticks all the boxes. All the naysayers, all the little things, forget them, forget about them. This car is amazing. Once you get in this car and take it for a drive, you'll then know what I'm talking about. You'll probably think, oh, he's been paid by Lotus. I'm not getting my car quickly. I'm the same as you lot. I'm not. I'm generally a huge enthusiast. Those who know me know that's true. And I came here with just driven a Cayman. I've got a Ferrari, a Mercedes, Bentley. So the Emira was up against it. It was definitely up against it. I got inside it. First impressions, it's the quality of the Bentley and the Mercedes. Driving it, it's the solidness of the Mercedes. And also, it has the panache, the flair, that je ne sais quoi, that special ingredient that the Ferrari has over those 2 by miles. Add that all together into one car. It's called the Emira. Right, this is it, my first ever drive, and this is the UK's first production vehicle to be driven, so I'm deeply honoured. And oh, this is it, this is it. It looks very welcoming, it looks like immediate quality. I love the seal and the Alcantara. The seats look amazing, the steering wheel looks fantastic. Oh my God, here goes. This is a big moment for me. Excuse me while I get a little emotional, but I've been waiting a long time to be in this position. The engine's running, all the electrics are on, this steering wheel, I love the steering wheel. People going on about, it's too thick. It's stunning. It looks like an event. The whole thing about this car for me is that it's an experience. The whole car is an experience. Right, okay, let's find out what it's all about. All right, first gear. It's got that really nice reassuring clunk to it, and the fact you can see through this bit at the bottom there is just a real bonus. Like many, I might seek to remove that mesh if it's safe to do so. So let's go. Don't install it, and it hasn't. Now remember, this is the sports suspension, and being a passenger in the last quarter of an hour, it actually seems phenomenally good. Go over the bump. That's good, very solid. Right, so my initial impressions. I love the steering wheel. I don't know where any negative that steering wheel came from. Where you put your thumb in this grip bit here, it is narrow. I mean, this bit's thick, 'cause that's the bulge that comes out of most sports cars. So I don't know what people are going on about. It looks great. It's different. It adds to the experience. So far, even not warmed up, and this is a 500-mile car, the gear changes already seem to be fabulous. Yet to do it in anger. We'll get on to that. The screens look great. I may not use this that much except for navigation, and you can move a lot of the tech from there onto the main screen here. Well, that bit was really bumpy, and I thought that was superb. Don't forget, I've got a Ferrari and a Mercedes, both with very firm suspension. The Ferrari cracks, rattles, and is quite horrific. The Mercedes is good, and this is up with the Mercedes. Immediately I can tell this. Those worried about sport suspension, don't be. But I do concede, for everyday use in all conditions, touring should still be the way to go. Interesting, the car doesn't feel wide once you're in it. From outside it looks wide, it's got that supercar look. A gear change is brilliant. Don't forget, I'm just coming out of a manual Ferrari, and this, from my point of view, this gear change works sublime. Oh, smooth. At the moment, even the sport suspension on an errant country road, it's feeling great. Oh my God, I'm actually over the moon. You know, when you look at a woman or you get in a car, it takes seconds to realise if you're going to marry that woman, or you're going to fall in love with her, or you fall in lust. And right now, this car, that's clever. This car is amazing. Oh. That gear change, it's incredible. Oh my life. This is actually better than I was hoping. And I've only just touched the surface. All the three cars that I've got, this is much more of a cohesive experience. Everything comes together. I'm just over the moon, because I can tell immediately this is a weapon of mass entertainment. You're kidding me. Oh my God, I'm only 75-80% and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Cut twos, slightly damp roads, not the day to be a hero. I don't want to muck up what is becoming a nice relationship with Lotus. I'm so pleased. People naysaying about the sport suspension, it's fabulous, and I'm certainly happy with my decision. I knew I would be, but my balance is edging towards feel rather than outright comfort. This is a sports car, it's a Lotus, why would you not go with sports? Steering is unbelievable. It's better than the Ferraris, and that's good. What a well put together car. Oh, the steering is sublime. Oh yes, now interesting. Now in the touring suspension, it just carries on the road a little bit more seamlessly when there's ruts involved. Not quite as bad as the Exige, but you do feel ruts and the steering wheel moving under your hands. But that's the trade-off. That's what I want. I want the car to make me feel alive, and it does. The car is alive, it makes me feel alive. If I wanted to feel anaesthetised from the situation, I'd be in the Bentley. Stuck behind a car at the moment gives me a chance to talk about the seats. They're brilliantly comfortable. It's got lumbar, electric lumbar, omnidirectional on both the seats. That's massive to me. I've got a dodgy back, have had most of my life, and that is a major factor. And they're heated. The Alcantara seating keeps you in the seat, because they're not hugely bolstered seats, but they're comfortable. But that lumbar support for me is a critical factor. So any of you suffering from any sort of back discomfort, you'll be mightily pleased in how you can alter that setting for you. You've got to get in this car. It's going to be at your dealers soon for a demo drive, and like me, you're going to, all those fears, all the weight, all the frustration, it's going to disappear, because this car lives up to everything I'd hoped, in fact more so, because I didn't realise it was going to feel like this. You haven't got that XE's complete rawness, but it tops that because you've still got the power, you've still got feeling, and you've got comfort. You can get in and out of the thing. My only real worry, which I mentioned a bit earlier, was about the suspension, and maybe that it might be a bit jarring for longer journeys. I won't get the missus in it. She'll go in at once, go, oh no, not for me, can we take the Bentley? But actually, this passes the missus bum test. I'm convinced she will like being in this car. And you've got those lovely haunches at the front, and that's almost identical to my Ferrari, which immediately gives me that sense of warmth about placing the car. It just looks stunning. It adds to the overall experience. And I keep going on about experience. This car, if it delivers an experience to you, then that is all your boxes ticked. All of you out there, you are going to be delighted. And this is a 500-mile car, but to me it already feels like it's been around for years. I've had it for years. I've got used to it. Nothing takes getting used to. But as soon as you release more energy into the car with steering inputs and power, it does come alive in a Lotus way. But you have that choice. It's like a motorbike. So when you go as fast, you twist that throttle and the dynamics completely change. And this car is certainly better than me. Right, I've moved the car into sport, which is easy to do with your left hand. It comes up running on the dashboard, so it's very clear that you're in it. And immediately, the exhaust has opened up. It feels like a different car. It feels like an unrestrained horse waiting to shoot you down the track. I can feel that the accelerator has changed. Slightest hint is more responsive. It's waiting me to press it down and loosen up the horses. Oh, can you hear that? Oh, hold on a second. I've just discovered something. I thought the car was good in the normal mode. Putting it in sport, oh, suddenly it lifts up by about 50%. It's more dynamic. You've got to hold on to the steering wheel. You've got to have that focus, and the car will reward you. Oh, I'm really pleased about that. I was so worried of all the particulate filters and the modern cars that it would really take away the sound away. Okay, it's not quite as raw as the Exige, but it's the same tone, just slightly dampened. But when you're pushing on to the higher revs, once you get up to about 6,000, 6,500, you really hear fantastic, deep roar. It's a beautiful, beautiful sound. It's a sound of quality. Yeah, I think I'd always have it in sport. It's the same on my Ferrari, the same on the Mercedes, because that's just how I roll, and that's what I like to feel in the car. I like to unleash the full experience from the moment I get in to the moment I turn the keys off. And it was a beautiful GT car that my missus would appreciate in the normal mode. Now in sport, this is my playtime. It's got all the power you need, and the power's superbly balanced with the suspension and the delivery, because you can floor it on a stampish road and it keeps the traction. Now that's actually quite a stunning achievement to get that right. It's the perfect balance. Any more power, you lose traction. If you lose traction, you lose confidence. And ironically, your car will actually be slower. So this car is just a confidence-inducing weapon. those who don't like a bit of hill and toe, and I've been focusing on the car, so I haven't tried it. I've just tried one there, and it's beautifully located. The accelerator's quite high up, so you don't have to push the brake down before you can really get a roll over onto the accelerator. So those who love all that will be delighted. It looks like it's very easy to do. We know the brakes are phenomenal. The steering is probably amongst the best I've ever come across. Only in my experience, and I've just come out of a Cayman, and we'll get to that a bit later, only a Porsche can actually probably live up to that. So I've just gone the wrong way, according to the sat-nav. Not the sat-nav's fault, I took the wrong turning. And I had to do a little U-turn, and the turning circle is fabulous. And actually, things like that, real world situations, are really important. Oh, I forgot it was in sport. Ooh, what a noise! And that's with the windows up and not at full throttle. I think an aftermarket N-Can third cat delete will be quite popular, but right now I'm thinking I might not need that. I think this is a different car. The Mercedes is quite loud, the Ferrari's kind of too loud. So actually, again, I think Lotus have probably got it right. Now, I'm fortunate enough with my lifestyle, my trips to Italy, I get man-made suits. I get handmade suits, and they are made by a man. And you get something that fits you, you feel comfortable, you feel extra special when something's spokely made for you. Now, I've been in this car driving for 15 minutes now, and I've been in it for about an hour in total, also including as a passenger. And I can tell you, it feels like this car was made for me. It's like I've gone to Heffel. I said I wanted to do this with the steering, I wanted to do this accelerator, this with the sound, this with the brakes, and this with the seat ergonomics, this with the steering wheel, this with the visibility, and literally they've built it to my exact specification. Now, we're all different, but unless you're 7 foot tall, 3 foot tall, and you don't understand cars, you haven't got a passion for cars, this is going to tick every single box. It is like it was made for me. Yeah. Now, I came off second in the first too quickly, and there was an amazing burble out the back. So that's something, as you get to know the car, you can start to play around with the symphonic nature of that exhaust, because there's more to that exhaust than first meets the eye. Right, bit of dual carriageway, effortless overtaking. Yes, it's a fast car, I can confirm that. It's as fast as you're ever going to need for UK roads. And now we've found out this sport suspension is even fantastic on all UK roads. Wow. I can't believe I'm driving an Emira. I can't believe all this time. What is it? May 2021 I put down. It's October 22. Oh, it's almost 18 months I've been waiting to do this, have this experience. And whereas my enthusiasm starting to dwindle with all the frustrations of delays, it's all paid off. And now the wait's going to be worse because I cannot wait to get in this car. The speedo is very, very clear. You can see what speed you're doing, which is always important. You can see what gear you're in, you can see what mode you're in very clearly. You can see the temperature inside of the engine, you can see how much fuel you've got at a glance. If you move the steering wheel up a bit, I've got it quite low because I want to have full visibility on this drive, but you move it up slightly, you will in fact see the rev counter clearly as well. And they've cleverly designed the shape of this to fit perfectly in there. Again, it just seems like there's that bespokeness to it, that someone's taken the time and trouble to make this car exactly as it should be for all people. We were thinking it's a compromise. It's not. It's a car for everyone. Everyone will get in this and they will love it. It just feels right. It's like a glove that you put it on and it conforms to the shape of your hand. Unbelievable. I'd like to say that there's something wrong with the car, and I feel like it's a reviewer's job to point out negatives. I feel like if I don't say there's any negatives, you won't believe me, and I'm in the pocket of Lotus. But I'm telling you here and now, I'm sorry, there's nothing wrong with this car whatsoever. It's just pure delight. It hasn't got face melting acceleration, but what it's got is a speed that carries everywhere, on the curves, through the roundabouts. I've had lots of manual cars, and This is as good a manual as I've ever driven, and it slaughters the Ferrari one. I mean, what are people talking about? I don't get it. I don't get it. I know people differently feel different things, but it's magnificent. Oh, there's that noise. Up to the full 5,000, 6,000, 6,800. Oh, that'll do. I don't know how to stay my welcome. This has got punch. It's not throwback, but it's pushing you back into the seat. Comfortable speed. Of course, when you marry that up to the handling proficiency and the way it feels and the feedback you get from the car, it does deliver that experience that I'm talking about. The whole thing about this car, the whole thing about the Ferrari for me is the overall experience. The whole thing about the Lotus for me is about the whole experience, and it's delivered it. It delivers it in a slightly different way to the Ferrari, but it still delivers it. Oh, I've just thought of something. I've thought of a problem with this car. Finally, I can feedback a problem. The problem with this car is that I'm not outside to see it driving by. It's phenomenal. I'm just thinking, all these people, they've got the pleasure of seeing this yellow missile, this rare car, this car that's been so looked forward to. It's going past them. I'm not getting that experience. A bit too fast there. Ooh. Stunning brakes, no dramas. Speedage again. Oh, a fantastic change from second to third. Put the brakes off this car. That's interesting. The car broke. It didn't move in the slightest. I was expecting it to from the cars that I own. A typical Lotus, they've got the brakes spot on as well. I'm also surprised at the lack of road noise and wind noise. So anybody who's remarked on, oh, it's going to be loud, that's again, that's dispelled. I'm telling you right now, this production version has got it all nailed. Again, fantastic brakes for me entering a little bit too early. That was me trying to do sound effects now. the car's got too much mechanical grip to have skidding over. Oh, did you hear that? It won't come across on the video. What a noise! I mean, look. Okay, look. I've got some seriously powerful cars. Anybody who's worried about speed, really don't be. Really don't be worried about. It's not got the straight line performance of a Tesla P100D. This has got performance. Before you know it, you're doing some quite amazing speeds. Not voucher, not saying it's a good thing, but it's there if you wanted it. I imagine this is going to be fantastic on the track. I'm definitely going to take it on the track when I get it. I still might do what I wanted to do, take it down to the Nürburgring. So let's leave a little bit late braking and brake. Oh, that was enough to bring the ABS in. No dramas whatsoever. Full confidence. Damp roads, and there's not a hint of traction coming loose. And I'm probably about 85%, and I'm pretty confident as I get to know the car more, you can deliver 100% power to it, and you will not ever feel like the car will get away from you. I just thought of another bad thing. I've got to give this car back. Now believe me, I did ask Lotus that if I could have a car for a weekend or something. That was actually a while back. I mean, if you don't ask, you don't get. But I have to say a massive shout out to Lotus again for organising this day, where I can feed back to you that everything is okay with the world. Business as usual. Yes, there's a little bit more of a wait, but it is worth waiting for. You'll have the smile on your face like me, and you'll wonder what all that fuss is about. And that 18 months will be a little blip in your life. And every time you get out in the morning, you will see this car and you will know you've made one of life's best decisions. Go again. Wow. Oh, got a nice flash from the car behind. That was a flash of loving that car. Right, let's talk about the Cayman. I went out on the GTS at the weekend. It was a silver one, had those carbon seats. Actually, much more difficult getting in and out of that than this car. I did give it some beans. I didn't like the gearing. Steering is almost on a level, but somehow it just feels better as a package, the steering added up into when we talk about the Lotus. Performance is similar, the brakes are probably better. However, what this delivers is an extra experience. You feel more special. That's partly because I'm in a rarer car and it's so bloody beautiful and I feel like a god. But actually it all connects better for me than the Cayman, and that's a big thing, because I know a lot of you are talking about that now. GT4 is something different. That's really focused, it's more about the track. I'm not going to make a comparison with that, that's up to you, you take it out, see what you think. But against the GTS, in my opinion, this lives with it and all the Porsche's mega strong points, but has an extra je ne sais quoi, an extra flavour, an extra bit of spice, but more importantly, it's wrapped up in this one package which delivers that experience. So another thing that's important for me, apart from lumber, is that when I'm not on it, the car's comfy. So we know the seats are super supportive and comfortable, and the ride, even on sports, is compliant. The engine doesn't drone whatsoever. There's a minimal amount of road noise and wind noise, but also, massive thing for me, I can rest my right elbow on here in my usual, I'm on a motorway, cruising along mode, where I'm completely feel I'm relaxed. Because the best one in the world, we're not all going to be having it on twisties. There's going to be times when you're driving it at leisurely pace, listening to the Clef stereo, and something like that is a massive thing for me. I can rest my elbow on the left and I can rest it on the right, which means I've got this kind of less stressful driving position. That's massively important. And if you may notice, those who know will know that this right hand bit with the slant and the angle, and the front bit where the Alcantara sits, is from the Esprit, literally lifted from the Esprit. It evokes that same look and feel, and those who are lucky enough to have driven on a Rona Esprit will immediately get that connection. And that's one of the many harking backs to the great older era of Lotus. It hasn't become there's still the Lotus DNA there. I feel that. I do feel, yes, I do feel it's 8.5 dialed down, sometimes 7.5 on comfort from an Exige. But that's what I wanted it to be. If I wanted an Exige in the Ronas, I'd have got an Exige, and I might still get an Exige. But this is the car that ticks all the other boxes. Your missus could drive it down the shops, I could take it on the twisties and have a bloody big smile on my face. Well, I've got another myth I can dispel out there. Understeer. Now, I can't talk for aggressive lower speed turns with the touring suspension, but I can tell you, I don't know what they're talking about. I didn't feel any understeer, didn't feel it was ever going to come to me. Yes, I haven't driven it in anger for a lot, but all I can hark back to is this car gives you full confidence to do what you want when you want to do it. I haven't felt I've been held back, or should I do that, should I push it there. Even in the damp, the car is fantastic. It's fantastically planted. Honestly, you'd swear with the traction involved, it was a four-wheel drive car. I've had four-wheel drive sports performance cars, RS3, Golf R, Bentley's four-wheel drive as well, but that's a different kettle of fish. And it feels as planted as that. You feel like you can come out in a damp roundabout, plant your foot, and the car just goes. It's remarkable. It's telepathic. It just feels an extension of your body. Unbelievable achievement by Lotus. So I've already said that I much prefer this to the Cayman. It delivers in all the areas, and it's got that extra bit of panache that the Cayman just can't deliver. It can't deliver on character. It's perhaps too well made, or just too bulletproof. It doesn't give it that feeling of character. But of course, the massive smasher, which destroys any thoughts of the Porsche, is the looks of this car. The looks of it inside are superior in my opinion, and the looks from the outside, well, it's not even close, is it? I'm just blown away, really, by how good the car is. It surpassed my most hopeful expectations, and I think that is something really to shout about. So well done, Lotus. The wait is worth it. Hang in there, keep the faith. Don't forget, if you like this video, you want some more Emira updates, because hopefully I'll be coming back with some more tidbits then make sure you subscribe, hit a like, drop a comment. Are you getting Emira? If you're not getting Emira, what would you get? Which colour variation? If you are getting Emira, what one are you getting? And has anything today maybe changed your mind or solidified your initial thoughts? So thank you for watching. If you have got this far, take care out there, drive safe, ride safe, be happy, grab life by the scruff of the neck. Take care.